Everybody, listen, we just had our best affiliate promotion ever. And that's saying something. I got to be honest, that's saying something. It was awesome. What we're going to do today is share with you what we did. We're going to share with you 5 things that made all the difference between, well, quite frankly, between a mediocre affiliate promotion and what ended up being our best ever. So, Mark, I'm excited because, well, I'm excited for 2 reasons. One, we had our best affiliate promotion ever.
Never hurts.
It was kind of cool, right? Excited about that, but I'm also excited to share these things with you today because as soon as that promotion finished, I was like, we have got to share. We've just got to share what we did and what made the difference. So as we go along, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and you know the drill on that. Also, I will let you guys know we're on a hard stop today. I'm getting a text from my wife. We have chicken. Oh, we have chicken salad in the fridge. Sweet.
Let's go have some chicken salad.
That will be what I'm eating between this Facebook Live and our exclusive training. We have an exclusive training coming up for our Start Mastermind members at 3. So I've got to, as Michael Jr. would say, I've got to bounce. Mark and I have got to bounce. Bounce means to vacate the premises. I've got to do that at about 2:45 to 2:48 to be specific. Have a quick rest, grab some chicken salad, and jump on that training. So we're gonna be training our Start Mastermind members today on how to do webinars. Like we're gonna actually take them behind the scenes of our high performing webinar and show them everything on there, which is gonna be really, really fun. So also quick reminder, make sure to go to mattmcwilliams.com/FB chat. And we'll make sure that you're the first to know when we schedule a Facebook Live. I know we've got one coming up next week, but we don't know when yet. So make sure you go to that mattmcwilliams.com/FB chat so you can be the first to know. Mark,
all the more reason to sign up for that.
All the more reason what? Because we don't know when it's going to be?
Because we don't know when it's going to be.
Yeah.
But as soon as we do know, you will be the first to find out.
That's awesome. All right, so let's see here. What do we got? The 5 things that we did that made this our best affiliate promotion ever. Number 1 is we did this, like not what we're doing right now. We did a Facebook Live with Stu, and I know many of you were on there. It was probably one of our most, we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments, which was really, really awesome. Cool. Yeah. And it was fun. First of all, it was good to connect with Stu. Stu is always Stu makes me look comatose. I don't know if you've ever noticed that, Mark, but he makes I feel like I'm high energy, and Stu makes me look like I'm half asleep. So, he really does. So we did this Facebook Live with him, went for about an hour. Now I'll tell you guys, just as a side note before I get to say this, we actually took that interview and put it on the podcast as well. So repurposing content. We also put that on YouTube. And so we had, not only did we have thousands and thousands of views and listens, but we had people really excited about the program. In fact, we had people like Phil Card. I just mentioned our Start Mastermind. Phil's one of our starters. And Phil was literally ready to buy whatever Stu was going to sell before he even mentioned that he really had a product. It was kind of implied, but Phil was ready to buy. Phil was like, I'm ready to start a membership site. I'm ready to sign up for Tribe. Stu hadn't even talked about selling Tribe yet. And Phil was in the workshop, he was in their Facebook group. They had a Facebook group for their launch. He was active in there. He was telling us, and literally, I remember, I think it was the Thursday before Tribe Tribe opened up officially for registration. Phil said, I'm going to buy. I want to make sure I use the right link. Can you post your affiliate link to purchase Tribe here? Now, as just, someone who has some skin in the game with that, i.e., we're getting an affiliate commission, that is music to our ears. You know,
Mhm.
that is music to our ears. And so that all came from that Facebook Live, which was
Did I
really,
ever
really awesome.
did I ever tell you, Matt, that we actually had somebody else that did the same thing, that messaged me personally and said, "Hey, what's Matt's link?"
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice. I love when people do that.
I totally forgot to tell you that. I just grabbed the link and gave it to him. But like that is, I mean, we talk a lot, Matt, about warming up your audience, and Facebook Lives are such an awesome way to do that, especially when you have somebody like Stu who's like super high energy, gives a ton of value, and is just super, super helpful. And that kind of leads into number 2 a little bit.
It does, which number 2 is we picked the right program. This is key. Yeah, I wrote a post, Mark, I don't remember when I wrote this, probably like 3 years ago. In fact, I wrote a post and then it became a podcast episode. It was, I think, the second podcast episode I ever released. Like the first one that wasn't, here's the introduction to my podcast. And it was called The First Rule of Affiliate Marketing. And the first rule of affiliate marketing is this: don't promote crap. Now, it kind of feels like it almost goes without saying, right? But my point is, I will PG-ize this, if you know what I mean.
PGIs.
I will take this from rated R to rated G for the audience. But essentially, to quote Tim Ferriss, if it's not a heck yes, it's a heck no. And I feel like affiliate marketing's got a bit way. If the product is not an absolute like, yes, I'm going to promote that. Like, I feel so good about promoting this. I feel so good about I would promote this to my mother. I would recommend this to my best friend. Then it's a no. You shouldn't be promoting it. And so we make a practice of that. Of course. I just wanted to highlight the fact that this could not have happened. This would not have been our best affiliate promotion ever if it hadn't have been for the program, if it hadn't have been for a few factors within that. Number one, we were enthusiastic about promoting the offer. We were enthusiastic about promoting the free workshop. We were enthusiastic about promoting the course. We're going to go through the course. We're in the course. Like, we're ready to go through Tribe. That's number one. Number two, it had Stu. And so the product creator is somebody that we love. We love him. He is amazing. And so we knew that he would bring energy. We knew that he would bring information. We knew that he would bring, value to the audience. So we were confident of that. And then thirdly, we knew that the marketing was dialed in. I am not suggesting that you never promote a product that's a first launch. I have done that before on products and people that I believed in. In fact, my first time I ever won an affiliate competition was a first launch. But generally speaking, we don't. Generally speaking, we don't. Again, that's, I don't know, probably 75% of the time that's true. Simple reason for that is you don't know if the marketing's dialed in. And then they're going to make mistakes. And do you want to be the one who's dealing with their mistakes? And so we knew that wasn't the case with Stu. This was third or fourth launch, I believe. Mm-hmm. I think it was fourth. It could have only been the third. And so everything was dialed in. We knew they were going to deliver. We knew they were going to convert our leads. We knew they were going to convert our visits to the sales page. We knew that our ads were going to convert. We'll talk about ads later. And that comes down to picking the right program.
Well, I think too, one of the things about picking that program, then we have a question, Matt, that I want to ask you that ties into this. But,
awesome.
For us, and you hit on this a little bit, but I want to really kind of drive it home, is the fact that we knew that Stu would take care of our people, and that goes along with that first rule is,
yep.
We don't want to be promoting something where our people come back and say, that was a really crappy experience. Like, they didn't answer my questions. I couldn't get anybody on support or whatever it is. And we know that that's not Stu, and that was a big part of our success. We did a lot of things right, but a lot of it was just Stu's team's really good at this. Like,
we know a lot of his team.
Which
Sebastian,
helps.
Michael. we've worked with his brother-in-law, Andrew.
Hey, did you know Andrew just had a baby?
What's that? Oh, did she actually deliver?
They had their baby.
Oh my gosh. It's so funny. I texted him. That explains why he hasn't responded to me. I texted him Tuesday or Wednesday, like, baby yet? That's all I wrote. and he hasn't responded. And it might have been when did she deliver?
I think I saw him post it like a couple days ago.
That explains it. Yeah.
So my guess is like a day before that, probably.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'll shoot him another text in a little bit. Anyway, yeah, I mean, picking the right program is huge, and you can't always know. Let's go to Michael's question. Michael Gurley, who's one of our starters in our Start Mastermind, says, "How do you choose which product you like? Which products do you like? That's a place to start. That's the first place to start. Is, I mean, literally, if you're struggling, if you're in the, let's say, online marketing niche, look around at your tools. Look around your desk. Look at your tabs that you open. Document what products you're using on a daily basis. If you're in the gardening niche, just go out and look at your gardening tools. Man, tell how much I garden. This miniature shovel, it's called a trowel. I do remember it. You know what? It's so funny. In our No Product, No Problem launch last year, Mark, I don't know if you remember this, which, by the way, guys, our No Product, No Problem workshop is coming up soon. Mark can drop the link to get in on that. Make sure that you get in on that. May 29th, the workshop is starting. You do not want to miss it. But in the workshop last year, I'll never forget, I was like, what is that miniature shovel called that you use in gardening? And nobody could name it. And then finally, this lady comes in and is like, I'm in gardening. It's called a trowel. So I will never forget that. So maybe it's a miniature shovel, a trowel, a gardening trowel, but it's made for people with arthritis. And your target audience is retirees who like to garden. Well, then go talk about that trowel. So that's your starting point, Michael. Mark's also going to drop a link that'll help you find out what to promote, kind of walk you through that. But it starts with those. It starts with the things you're already using, the products you like, and trust, people that like, and trust who are creating products. That's a great place to start. And then it also starts with things that rate highly and things that you can recommend confidently. And a good example of that is I'm not in the car niche, for example. And this is a bad example for affiliate marketing because you're really not going to promote cars as an affiliate. You get the idea. We're looking at getting a new SUV, and I couldn't believe it because in a million years, no offense to Ford, I've never been a fan of Fords, and they've actually traditionally rated kind of crappy. The Ford Expedition, like the 2017, 16, 17 and up till now, Ford Expeditions rate incredibly well. Like they rate better than our Acura. They rate better than the Lexus, what's not the LX, but the one below that. Like they rate better than a lot of luxury SUVs. Ford Expedition, like most people wouldn't think that, right? And so I could feel confident telling somebody else if they said, what SUV do you recommend? I love our Acura. I can recommend it, but I've never even stepped foot inside of a Ford Expedition. I can recommend that. Why? Because Consumer Reports and Car and Driver and JD Power and Associates and all these organizations that I know, like, and trust highly recommend it. So you can rely on those as well as far as looking for recommendations on things to promote. Now, real quick, if you're just joining us, we're talking about our best affiliate promotion ever. We just finished it. It was Stu McLaren's Tribe course in terms of every measurable factor. I mean, literally like revenue. There's certainly fun, feedback from our audience, every measurable factor. Now, we probably wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't our best ever in terms of revenue, so we made our most amount of money ever. But it was also, it just rated well in probably our best in every single category. We've talked about interviewing the creator of the product. That's what we did first with Stu. We interviewed Stu a couple of weeks before the pre-launch started. That warmed our audience up, really got him to like him. We really pushed that interview hard. We sent to the replay of it. We ran ads to it, to our audience. We did all kinds of stuff. We'll talk more about ads in a little bit. Then we talked about picking the right program. And that was is so important. The third big thing that we did, now this one I'm stealing from our Start Mastermind. There's a term they've started using to describe me that we have embraced. And because of that, we really leaned into it on this promotion, and it worked. It really had a positive effect on the promotion. We positioned ourselves as the Sherpa. And if you're familiar with the Sherpa, there's a difference between someone who, say, writes a book or records a video or stands at base camp and says, and gives you a map and says, this is how you get to the top of Mount Everest. The Sherpa is right there beside them, and the Sherpa guides them along the way. And one of the things that our Start Mastermind, they started kind of saying internally, is that Matt's our Sherpa. Matt's our Sherpa. And Phil Card, who's in our Start group, has said multiple times, he's like, not only do you guide us, not only do you lead us, not only do you teach us, but you introduce us to other people who can do the same in the areas that you're not the expert on. Because I don't claim to be an expert on membership sites. I'm not. The reality is I've spent about a dozen hours dealing with membership sites. Maybe 4 dozen tops. Stu spent 4 dozen hours times,
in the
no joke, at least 100.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally has 100 times the experience that I do. I've dealt with memberships. I have 2 membership sites. I've been in one and I've helped with one. 2 very similar niches. He has worked with membership sites, dog trainers, attorneys, CPAs, gardening, weight loss, retiring, teachers, ministry. I mean, do I need to name anything else for the point to get across? Probably not. I mean, he has literally worked in dozens and dozens, probably hundreds of niches, however you want to say it. He's coached people. He's helped people go from no membership site and almost no list to 1,000 members in a membership site with a massive list. He's helped people who started off with a big list go from, 500 members to 5,000 plus members. You name it, he's done it. So when I knew that I had people in my audience interested in membership sites, I didn't think, how can I teach this? How can I help them? I did say, how can I help them? And the how can I help them was introduce them to Stu. Done. And so that role as Sherpa is an important role to play with your audience. And I think embracing that made a big impact in this promotion. And it's something we're going to do in future promotions as well. And so thank you to our starters who began using that terminology. It was definitely a big mindset shift for me.
I had to look up the actual definition of Sherpa when you said that, just because I was curious what it said. It's a member of a Himalayan people living on the borders of Nepal and Tibet, renowned for their skill in mountaineering.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So it's me, and they're all like 5 feet 2 inches tall.
That's what I think of. I'm trying to think of I've seen a picture of one that I always think of when I hear Sherpa, but yeah. It's not you, by the way. That's not.
No, and they have they operate incredibly well at high altitudes, and it's crazy. You take me, I mean, it would take me 6 months to get acclimated enough to get just to the altitude to be able to get to 20,000 feet.
Yeah.
They're capable of running to the summit of Everest, and not dying. Whereas I would
that is an important part of it. Yeah.
I would just die. They're doing it without oxygen and stuff. It's I love reading. I've read probably 6 books on Everest. I love Edmund Hillary, the first Westerner to, reach the summit. I've read a couple books on him. One of my favorite books is called Into Thin Air by John Krakauer. It's about, if you've ever seen the movie Everest, Into Thin Air is one of the main books that it's based on. And it's his account of the group that ended up, I think 4 or 6 of them died, and it's his account of it. It's a fascinating book, and read a few others about Everest as well. It's a very fascinating subject. And, the old saying about Everest, why do we climb Everest? Because it's there. I've always thought that was kind of why do we do this? Because it's there, let's do it. So, all right. So that was number 3. We positioned ourselves as the Sherpa, or at least position me as the Sherpa, in that role. We talked about interviewing Stu. That was huge. Picking the right program, positioning ourselves as the Sherpa. And then the fourth thing that we did that made this literally our best affiliate promotion ever is we gave them insider access, meaning them being our audience. We gave our audience insider access into the course. We actually showed them inside the course by doing a very detailed product review. The cool thing about this is it takes away that layer that a lot of people feel, especially with online courses. Is this really going to be what you're saying it's going to be there, Stu? And having that third party, me, saying, actually, here, just take a look inside, and take a look inside the course. Take a look inside and see, okay, here's module 1, here's module 2, here's what's going on, here's what he teaches, et cetera, was super, super powerful. It's always worked for us, but it worked even more so with Tribe, just giving our audience that look inside. And they realized how in-depth it is, but also how organized it is so that, it's not overwhelming. That was huge.
Well, and part of that too is I think as you do that, you have to make sure that it's an honest assessment too. I mean, one of the things that we always try to do is to look at it and say, okay, what might not be good, or who might not this work for?
We do, yeah.
You've talked a lot of times, Matt, about different times where somebody's asked you about a program, and after talking to him, you say, no, this isn't right for you. Like, you shouldn't buy this. Like, don't buy it. It's not the right time.
Yeah.
Or it's not
I remember a very specific conversation with somebody last year. I won't mention Gwen's name, but yeah. And she said, do I need this? And she's like, I'm ready to buy, which of course means we're going to make a substantial amount of money. I don't know if you guys picked up on this. It's never about that. I mean, that's a great side benefit, but number one, don't promote crap. Number one is serve your audience. The money will come, I promise you. And yeah, that's easier to say now than it was 7 years ago. Don't get me wrong, but it is true. It's been true from the beginning. And I said, no, it's not for you. It literally is just not for you. I had a phone call last week with a lady that was interested in our 7-figure affiliate accelerator. And if you guys want to check that out, Mark can drop the link. But yeah, same thing. She explained her situation, and it's a $10,000 program. It's a lot of money. And I said, no, this is just not, you're not ready for this yet. It's just not for you, because you've got other stuff going on. We've had people, I stumbled across this video. I was looking through some of our old YouTube videos the other day of trying to find one specifically to post to Facebook. And the video was something like, I shot it specifically for people who were interested in No Product, No Problem, but they were like, man, I've got 7 other courses that I'm ready to go through. And I said, here's the deal. Don't buy my course. You've got 7 courses that you haven't even finished. Like, I get that maybe 1 or 2 of them suck. That's entirely possible. But pick the other ones. Go through the foundational courses first. Go through at least one. Implement what you've learned.
Mm-hmm.
Apply it. Do something with it. Then buy my course. And I told them, I'll make you a deal. And we had a couple people take us up on this. I said, I'll make you a deal. We do close registration. We have a hard deadline. But if you email me and explain to me this one thing, this one exception, this is literally the only exception. This is literally the only exception. You tell me, Matt, I've got 3 or more courses that I'm going through. I'm overwhelmed. I need to get through a couple, of them. May I have an extension? And we have a defined period of time. It's not an indefinite extension, because if it were indefinite, we'll just join next year, But if you will do the work and go through that other course and show me that you've put in the effort, and implemented, some things from it, then I will let you in. That is the only exception that we have. And I did that because I don't want people to just buy our course and then let it sit there and gather digital dust. That's not why I'm in business. That's not why we do what we do. We want them to purchase the course and immediately start taking action on it. And so we told them, don't buy the course. And the same thing is true with that review. We say, hey, if you are, Stu said this multiple times. If you're going to have to, if the difference between purchasing this course and like paying for your kids to eat, please do not purchase this course. Like, there are better ways right now to get the money, part-time jobs, et cetera. And then next year, save up, and next year you can buy the course. We specifically said, if you're, if the type of membership site you're looking to build is more of like a mastermind and it's $1,000 plus a month, this isn't really what Tribe does. Tribe is more about recurring revenue. It might be $100 or $200 a month, but it's not, thousands of dollars a month type memberships. If you don't believe the membership model could work, this isn't for you, clearly. If you're not willing to put in the effort, because there is effort that you have to put in. If you think this is like you spend 4 hours one day a year and you create all the content and then you're done, he has a pretty good system for teaching you how to get it done in about 6 days. I think it'll be half a day, and so we just said, hey, this is not for you if you fall into these categories. And the cool thing about it is you're almost implying, I never thought about this until now, I think. Maybe I did before. This isn't the reason why you do that, but it's almost as though you're implying when you say it's not for you if you don't fit any of those, it is for you. And most people will fit those criteria and they will read it and go, wow, none of those apply to me. This course is for me. This product is for me. And they will click and they will buy. So kind of cool how that works. I never thought about that until now.
It's very true. I loved, I don't know if you saw, I put it on the screen there for a second, Matt, but Nicole's comment.
I did.
Super awesome. Thank you, Nicole, for mentioning that. I mean, that's to us, that's number one. Like you said, that's most important. And that's what I appreciate, about working with you, Matt, and what we do, because it really is, we're trying to help people. And sometimes that's an affiliate course that we're promoting. Sometimes that's not. And either way is cool. Like, that's fine. It's no big deal.
It's kind of like if somebody if you're in, like, say, in the health and fitness niche and you really are focused on teaching, beginner people, how to just get in shape, and somebody comes to you and says, I want to be in the Olympics, you would be doing them a disservice. You said, I can help you. More than likely, that's not your jam. So what do? You say, I know a coach and I'm going to introduce you to him. And maybe you have a relationship with that coach whereby, everybody you refer to him, he gives you, 5% of what they spend with him. That's cool. I have a guy that I refer for, literally he helps people like put their course together, and it's for it's for people who can afford to spend $50,000 for this service. And, a couple times I've referred people to him, and then, 2 months later I get a PayPal deposit for $5,000. It's like, sweet. That's not why I referred them to him. I can help them with the course, but I'm not as good as this guy at coaching people how to put together a course, giving him a step-by-step plan, and B, I would charge him more. So, it's just easier for me to say, you go talk to him, you're going to get better results from him. And I think that's what we always want to do, that if there is somebody out there that you honestly feel like, especially if it's not in your lane, you've got your courses that are in your lane, and then there's all these other things that they could need. That's what affiliate marketing is all about. Referring them to other people, being that Sherpa.
Yeah.
So far we talked about our best affiliate promotion ever. If you're just joining us, we covered interviewing Stu. how that warmed up our audience. Talked about picking the right program, positioning ourselves as the Sherpa. Yes, presenting ourselves as a 5'2" Tibetan man who climbs mountains, and giving them that insider access. Now, the Sherpa thing was totally different. So if you missed that, you got to go back and watch the replay when we're done. And then the fifth thing we did was some targeted Facebook ads, and we were really hyper targeted this time. We focused more on it than we have previously, and that's one of the reasons it did so well. And one of the things is we just forget to do this, quite frankly, a lot. Is we gave them our pixel, and so that allowed us to get really targeted with our ads. And so, just ask the affiliate manager, ask the person who's running the promotion, hey, can I give you my Facebook pixel? And then you want to retarget people who are, maybe they hit the opt-in page, but they didn't opt in for the free workshop. You want to hit people who hit the sales page, but don't buy, when the cart's closing, and run ads to those folks. You want to, and then of course you don't want to be targeting people who've already purchased or already opted in. And so you can only do that if you give them the pixel. You want to target people who maybe have opted in to one thing, but they haven't maybe gone to the webinar yet. And so we just really want to get focused on those Facebook ads. It's just a very powerful tool. So my recommendation, if you're looking for how to run Facebook ads, do what we do, go opt into stuff, and then copy what other people are doing, or be inspired by what other people are doing is probably a better, a better phrase. As I always say, because I invented this quote, good artists copy, great artists steal. You can Google that and you'll find out that I invented that quote. I was the first person ever to say those words. And it may have been some guy named Pablo Picasso too, but I say it now. So you get where I'm going with that? Hopefully you do. Anyway, copy what they're doing and be inspired by what other people are doing. We did that in this promotion. We saw an ad at Jill and Josh Stanton were running. And I love that you put dash Matt McWilliams. Well done. Well done. Well done, chap. Well done. I'm going to start calling people chap, by the way. I've been rewatching Downton Abbey right now. So I'm going to call people chap. I think it's just a great word. Where's I going with that? Oh yeah, Facebook ads. We saw this ad from Jill and Josh Stanton, and it was just a great ad. It was like, hey, we saw that you were interested in this, but you didn't opt in. What's wrong? And then I'll give Stu credit. They had a great retargeting ad. I never saw it except for the fact that Dave Gambrell mentioned it and sent it to us. Hi, Dave. I saw that you were on earlier, reacted earlier. So hopefully you'll see this. But thank you, because it was Stu holding a balloon, and he's like, hey, we saw that you visited, you visited, I didn't say sales page, but whatever. We saw that you visited the page for Tribe, and lets the balloon go, but you didn't join. What's up with that? And then boom, boom, Tribe, registration closes. Great retargeting ad.
He actually
20 seconds long. And you can go create that same ad yourself, and just kind of point is, go opt in for stuff, visit pages, but don't do stuff. And then just start doing stuff on the internet, and then watch your Facebook feed and see what happens and start learning from it.
He did I actually just listened to it. Stu did a podcast episode about when they first did that last year.
Yeah.
And he said, what did he say? They spent $30 and
it was $70 and they returned 70,000. Yeah. It was 1,000%. No, a 10,000% ROI. Yeah. On their ads.
So let's
targeted audience, of course, but
let's talk about ads a little bit, Matt, because I know that I feel this way sometimes. And I think I probably have a better grasp on Facebook ads than most people.
You do. Probably I don't. The 99.
Feel like I do,
the population, yeah.
So, you talked about a million different things you could do. If you were only to do one Facebook ad for a promotion, what would you do? Who would you target? What would be the number one thing you would do?
Ad, I would, if I can only do one, I would probably retarget opt-ins for the sales. If I could only run one, I would target people who opted in, So we would take literally the list of opt-ins, let's just, whatever, we'll just pick around 500 people that have opted in. Now, here's the thing about uploading email addresses to Facebook. My Facebook email address is not the same one I use to opt into most stuff.
Right.
99% of the time it's not.
So you'll miss some of those people.
Now, that's actually going to change because one of the things I realized is I actually do want to get retargeted on Facebook. Why? And this is a mindset shift. Mark and I, you and I we've talked about this so much about the mindset shift you've got to make from I'm a consumer and privacy and blah, blah, blah to no. You're a marketer and you need to study this stuff. So you need to think, how can I get retargeted? Yep. I want to be retargeted because I want to see exactly what they're doing. And that's a mindset shift that you have to make as a marketer. And so that will change, but your audience may not think like that, of course. So let's pretend that they have a different email address. You upload a list of 500 opt-ins, you may only be able to retarget 365 of them. Okay.
That's the percentage I've seen.
About 70%?
60 to 70%. Yeah.
But it's 60 to 70% of something rather than 100% of nothing, So you upload that list and you target them to sell. If I could only run one Facebook ad. Now, if I could only run one Facebook ad that wasn't, like super ridiculously hyper targeted to, to getting people to buy, people who've already opted in, the ad I would run would be the very front end of a funnel. So I would get them into Stu's workshop, or I would get them into the first video in a video series. I would get them to a webinar. And what I would target from that is a lookalike audience of my opt-ins. So I would mail my list, get even just 50 opt-ins, even just 50, even 25, something like that. And then I would target a lookalike audience of that. And the cool thing about it is now that lookalike audience grows. And one of the things that you're doing, that we're learning, Mark, is you're training your pixel. Mm-hmm. You're training your Facebook pixel. I believe, like so many other people believe, that we're entering an age, I don't know the exact timeline, a year, maybe 4 years, maybe 6 months, possibly, where we will not be able to be as hyper targeted with our Facebook ads on the front end. So who's going to win? People who right now are hyper targeting because they can pick, people who live here, who do this. Actually the live here part, I think they'll probably be, I don't think that's a privacy thing. I think they'll be able to allow that forever. But, things like what are they interested in and who do they follow? You may not be able to target that in 6 months to 4 years, but you can right now. And right now that pixel's getting trained. And so let's just say that Facebook flips the switch in a year and says you can no longer target based on these things. That means you have to run ads to everyone. You want to target people in the United States. That means you're targeting 280 million users. Yippee! That's targeted. Who do you think is going to win? Procter & Gamble or you?
Yeah.
It's going to be P&G. And actually, it's going to be the guy that's tiny who right now only targets 700,000 people. And he's still going to be able to target the same 700,000 people because his pixel's trained. And Facebook knows these are the 700,000 people to target. So train your pixel, get that pixel trained. And then there's some intuition, who would I target? Well, people who clicked on, maybe opted into this other affiliate promotion that we did that's similar in nature. And I'll create a lookalike audience based on that, plus, the audience that opted into this and get them in on the front end of that funnel. That would be the other ad I would run, but mainly retargeting. Because it's so
targeted. I think along those same lines and kind of tying some of the other stuff we've talked about together is, things like, and this is something Stu's taught publicly as far as what they do leading up to the launch. Mm-hmm. And he actually said this is why his first launch with no list was so successful. I mean, things like when we did a Facebook Live with Stu, creating an audience of the people that watch 50 or 75% of that video. Yeah. And then a lookalike off of that. So if you leading up to a launch, do 2 or 3 targeted Facebook Lives or videos that are about whatever that topic's going to be, and you kind of drop hints and those kinds of things, you can start to capture the people watching it that are interested, because the people that aren't interested will stop watching after 20% or 30%. The people that watch all the way through, that's a pretty dang targeted list that you could use. So
Yeah, it
I
is.
know we did that a tiny bit with the Facebook Live. We probably should have done it more.
Yeah.
Getting
We
those
should
people.
have. That was
But
one of the things we could have done better.
so I mean that's something you can do as well. But I mean, getting to that, I guess it wasn't so much. The reason I asked that question wasn't so much you can only run one ad, but I know how Facebook ads get, and I know that some of you watching are going to say that's so dang confusing, and I don't know what to do. So don't get so caught up in doing 7 different retargeting things and retargeting opt-ins to this or this to webinars. Do one. Just do one. Just say I'm gonna do some ads for this. I've determined that I can spend this much money, and that's what you do, and you just slowly learn it. And that's kind of where I've got. I still don't feel like I know Facebook ads very well, but I do know that I know it a lot better than most people, and that's what I've done. I mean, it's just you do a little bit, you figure out a little bit, and then the next time it's like, oh yeah, I should have done that too, or oh, I could have tried this. And that's where you get to where then you can do what we did this time, which was a lot more than we've done ever before, really.
Yeah. As we wrap up, let me say one last thing on the Facebook ads, because Mark asked a great question. What's that one ad you would run? When you're starting out, your budget's tight, and you don't have a big list to target. One of the reasons why I love just doing retargeting of opt-ins or retargeting of people who hit the sales page is it might only be, let's just say go small. It might only be 50 people, 30 people. You couldn't spend more than $10 if you tried. Right. So you're going to spend $10, maybe 15 if it was a little bit higher. You might only spend $3 or $4, and you close one sale. So in the case of Tribe, that was a $798.80 commission. You spent $10 to make $800.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's a good, and the cool thing is, it's an immediate ROI. Now, yeah, you get paid your commission, say 30 days later, but unlike getting them on the front end of the funnel where you might spend $400, $500, $600 and not know if any of them are going to convert, you can virtually guarantee if you, over the course of 6 months, let's just say for 6 different affiliate offers, let's say you retarget 50 people per offer, that's 300 people that you retarget. If you pay $1 a click and a third of them click, you're going to spend $100. I guarantee you, unless you're promoting the totally wrong products, like the price is too low, I guarantee you will make at least one sale. You spend 100, you make 800. It's an 800% ROI. That's why if I can only run one, that would be the one, because you're virtually guaranteed to actually make some money.
Yeah.
That's why I love those. So guys,
make sure, one last thing. Sorry, Matt.
One last thing
is just make sure that you're using, I mean, if they use Infusionsoft, it's easy to create an ad. Make sure you're doing something to track. So, use a separate link. If you're using Pretty Link, which is what we use, you can use a separate Pretty Link.
There, yeah.
But do that, because otherwise you're just running blind and you have no idea whether somebody bought through the ad or not. So
yeah, do something to make sure you can track. I mean, I know like ClickFunnels, which is what we use, it's just a little appendage to the ad, and it's like ad equals Facebook. Yep. And then you could even do more, like you ad equals Facebook 1, Facebook 2, and you could do stuff like that. Ad equals, email, ad equals, sidebar ad, whatever it is. It's just, I mean, it's so easy to do. If you know how to edit a URL, which most of us know how to do that, you can do that. So yeah, definitely do that, so you're not flying blind. Guys, thank you so much. Again, we covered our best affiliate promotion ever. We're going to do another Facebook Live next week. Don't know when yet, but if you want to be the first to know and make sure that you don't miss out on that, it's going to be a good one. mattmcwilliams.com/FB chat. Make sure you go there and get the notifications. And then let's see what else. Make sure you check out the workshop. What is that link? Is it noproductnoproblem.com/workshop?
It is.
Okay, good. Because if it's something else, I don't know what it is.
If it's something else, go create that one real quick, right?
Yeah, go create that one. noproductnoproblem.com/workshop. Get signed up for our upcoming No Product No Problem workshop. We're going to teach you how to get started with affiliate marketing, start monetizing your platform. So go check that out. We start on May 29th. So put that on your calendar, circle it. We've got so much awesome stuff coming during that workshop. We're like testing the limits of just how much free content we can give away that's never been free before in many cases. So make sure you go check out the workshop, get signed up so you don't miss out on May 29th. And we'll see you next week on our next Facebook Live. Take care, guys.
See you guys.